Hi. It's been a while since I uploaded a vlog. I've been to LA in the summer of 2024. It was July, end of July, beginning of August. I've traveled there from the Denver airport to obviously LAX, and I've stayed there for 3 days. Come along, join my journey. I've done some very cool things. What you'll see in the vlog is some footage of the Warner Brothers studio tour, the walk to the Hollywood sign. I did a tour in the Hollywood Hills. I'm gonna include some videos of that. By the way, I stayed in the Hollywood part of LA, not in downtown LA, just to clarify. Make sure to leave a follow and comment and like if you want to, and have fun watching my trip to LA. Me at one of the weirdest airports ever, aka Denver Airport. When I flew to LA, I still lived in Colorado. It was my last day there. So yeah, I flew from Denver Airport to LAX. Here's me. I hopped off the plane at LAX. I hope you get the reference. Anyway, that's in the bus on the way to the airport, and then there's me walking in the airport, and I arrived and it was kind of magical. My Airbnb was near Hollywood, so I took public transport, aka an airport shuttle, to downtown LA, and from there I went by metro. It was exhausting because it took over an hour, but that's the view. Once I got out of the metro, I was exactly on the Walk of Fame. It was crazy. That was my view from the Airbnb. I checked in, I unpacked some stuff, and then I went to the Venice Beach by also public transport. Welcome to Venice Beach, guys. So at first I just took it all in, like the views, you know. And then I started walking to the skater park that you always see on social media. It was, I think, around 3 to 4 p.m. here. And then I just searched for a nice spot on Venice Beach. And then I just enjoyed sitting on a beach, watching the waves and just taking it in, you know. And around sunset, I started walking like the boardwalk to Santa Monica Pier to watch the actual sunset there. So this is me at Santa Monica Pier, and I must say it's kind of overrated. I don't know what I expected, but there were so many people. It was so crowded. And for some reason, I did not feel very safe there. I think I've just been there for half an hour. I grabbed something to eat and I took some photos and then I left. Like, I went on that walkway up to the city. I also saw like the start or end of Route 66, so yeah, here's that sign. And then I just took an Uber back to the Airbnb. I felt so unsafe, even though there were so many people. I just had a weird feeling. You're gonna see day number 2 now, but I have to tell you something before I'm gonna show you. I traveled alone a lot in the US, but there is one mistake that I made. I actually thought I'm gonna be in an episode of The Rookie. Joking, because I almost had to get help. Okay, so don't make the same mistake, please. I went on a hike alone. I wanted to go on a simple walk to see the Hollywood sign, and I did not think that walk would be 2 hours. I had a clear water bottle with me, so the water got hot eventually and I was not able to drink it anymore. Also, the walk was like in the Hollywood Hills around noon, and it got very hot there, and I did not have a hat with me. So I almost collapsed and dehydrated. So if you're ever considering traveling alone to LA, don't go on a hike alone. Let people know that you're gonna go on a walk. Take a water bottle with you where the water actually stays cool, and bring a hat. And don't go around noon because it gets very hot. Well, now I understand why there are so many wildfires there. You're still gonna see some pretty landscape because I took a lot of videos and photos on that hike. It was pretty awesome. Like, you were able to see the whole city of LA. Good morning from LA. So here's me before the walk, and you can see my route or bus that I took to the West Observatory Road. And then before the observatory, I got out of the bus and I followed along the street, and I had some incredible views over LA. It was insane, and I took some pretty cute videos there. Yeah, you can see them. I was listening to music and just taking in the view. It was breathtaking. And then I made my way up and I saw the Hollywood sign for the first time. This was my reaction. And here you can see the view. And if that view looks familiar, it was used in The Rookie, which I later found out you can see the exact picture on the right corner. And here's me seeing the Hollywood sign for the first time in real life. It's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. Some ladies that were on the same hike as me were so kind enough to take these 2 gorgeous pictures of me, and I mean, I'm obsessed. Like, what do you mean I'm standing in front of the Hollywood sign? And then this was the end of the hike. This is also the closest I was able to get to the Hollywood sign. So yeah, that's the end. And now I was on my way to the Warner Brothers Studios. Seeing the water tower, like the one you always see in vlogs or like TV shows in real life, it was the craziest part. During that time, I was obsessed with directing movies, behind the scenes of movies. So it was one of my biggest dreams come true to do a Warner Brothers studio tour. And yes, I would do it again. Like, I would definitely go on a tour at the Warner Brothers Studios again. It was awesome. And just the feeling of being in the film studios. My gosh. I was not allowed to make videos there, just photos, so you're gonna hear a lot of voiceover. And the tour at Warner Brothers is different every time you go. You tell the driver of your golf cart, of the group golf cart, what kind of TV shows you watch, and depending on what TV shows they're gonna get as an answer, they're gonna drive to sets that were part of these TV shows. So depending on what answers you're gonna give them, you're gonna see something else every time you go. Yeah, come along with me as I do the Warner Brothers tour. We started off going to the like woods and cabin where like forest stuff was being filmed, and also here was a part of the Pretty Little Liars set. It was pretty cool. And then we have this huge building which also is like the main office in Supergirl, where she works when she's not Supergirl. And then we continued to the city, like in parenthesis city, you know, it's empty. They prepared for filming the spin-off from Young Sheldon. So yeah, we see Mindy's beauty shop here. And then we see like a New York kind of street. And then the inside of a building, where you can see that there's literally nothing, but at that one house, they already hung up like TV screens to see the filming process. Like they started filming the next day in that house. We continued the tour further down, and you can see here they started preparing for Abbott Elementary. So that was supposed to be like the school entrance. And then they started like building up some houses and redecorating stuff, so that you can see here on the street happening right now. And also they were like just trying out filming stuff. And then we visited the two most iconic Warner Brothers spots, which are on the right side, the chapel, which you can see in every single, not every single, but almost every single Pretty Little Liars episode. And then on the left, we have the pavilion, which we always see in Gilmore Girls. It was so cool seeing them in real life. After checking these spots out, we continued our tour to the sound stages where the inside shots are being made, which you can see here. Those are the sound stages, and also a little bit of an inside glimpse into a sound stage. And then like the typical stages view, they have multiple sound stages. And here we passed by a trailer because they were currently filming for a new TV show. And well, what can I say? The TV show is out now. You can see the makeup trailer here, and then an ambulance. And yes, it was for the show Pittsburgh Paramedics. So yeah, the show is out now. You can watch it. It was kind of cool seeing the props and like trailers, makeup trailers standing around there. Then we have another glimpse of an inside building also used for Pretty Little Liars. And then we stopped by the design studio. So they're like designing the props and stuff here. You have a little glimpse of like bicycles and like just a warehouse kind of setting. And then our tour was over, and before we stopped, we passed by like I think it was a wardrobe trailer. So they were preparing the wardrobes for the actors there for filming stuff. Before the tour was over, I just had to take a picture on the iconic red couch. The girls that get it, it's just iconic. And then we learned a little bit about post-production and editing. So how green screen effects and that stuff are being made. And then they recreated some sets where you could take pictures, and there was also a little Harry Potter part. Slytherin! And then, of course, the iconic, like, Supergirl original suit, like that Melissa Benoist wore during filming. They had it in the store and I just had to take a picture with it. It's iconic. I was done by around 5:30 to 6 p.m. I took the bus back to downtown, which took 20 minutes, and I headed back in the direction of my Airbnb that was super close to the Walk of Fame. So I stopped by like Broadway and went shopping, got myself some dinner, and I also checked out the Walk of Fame. So yeah, here are some of the stars that I was able to see. You know, I was able to see a lot of them, but those were my highlights. Definitely James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger as someone from Austria, you know, and James Cameron, I've always been an Avatar fan, so yeah. And then here's me the last morning in LA. The weather was a vibe, and that day I headed again to the Walk of Fame, but because I had a tour booked there to the Hollywood Hills, I, you know, did not have a car or anything. I didn't rent a car, so there was no option for me to get to the Hollywood Hills other than booking a guided tour, so that's what I did. Shout out to the two au pairs who recognized me from TikTok and also did the same tour. I had a lot of fun with you, and basically the tour was just driving around pretty big houses and mansions, looking at them and just enjoying the vibe in the Hollywood Hills. And then, of course, our most iconic spot, the Beverly Hills Shopping District, and it was insane not seeing it on TikTok or Instagram, but in real life, it was so cool. And that was it for my 2.5 days in LA. It was time to head back to the airport. That was the train station, by the way. And I waited for my bus there that took me to the airport. It took almost an hour. And then, yeah, we drove to LAX, where I boarded my plane to Hawaii, and that's where I've spent another week. Hi guys, it's me again. I know I'm back in a different outfit. It's been some days that I was able to film and edit and stuff. Basically, that was my LA vlog. It was, I think, 2.5 to 3 days in LA, and then I flew to Hawaii with some other au pairs. But if you want to see a vlog of that, let me know. You know, I love to film. I film everything. I make a lot of photos, so there's a lot of content still out there that I need to edit. And yeah, I hope you had fun, and thank you for watching my LA vlog. Make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want. And yeah, thank you for watching.